name's Chip Hord. I'm a distributor sales executive for Eastman Kodak Company. Uh, I'm going to be working in Northern California and Northern Nevada territories. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I don't have a lot of presentation experience. I have some sales experience, but not really a lot of tangible experience in front of large or small groups. So what I hope to do today is try to refine, what rudimentary skills that I do have, speaking in front of people, making presentations, because this is going to be very important in the job that I'm going to be doing out there, because I'm going to need to make presentations in front of distributors, and the size is going to vary. The distributors are obviously a very important part of my success out there. So this is what I hope to gain today from this experience. And hopefully by the end of the day, I'll have learned a little something about talking in front of groups, and maybe refined, what skills I do have, and maybe I'll know what I can work on. It's going to help me out there when I'm actually doing this in the field. Something that you may not know about me is I earned 2 varsity letters in college on the track team. I used to be a runner, and I think I was about 155 pounds then. So it's been a couple years ago, but I still enjoy running very much, in all athletics.
Thanks, Jim.
I want to tell you all about a personal experience I had several years back that was very exciting for me at the time. I had the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. to meet with Congressman Alex McMillan, who is the representative of the 9th Congressional District in North Carolina. And it's a man I personally admire very much, Republican, and so this was a very exciting opportunity for me. And so I took the train up to Washington, D.C., rode all night, which was an experience in itself if you've ever rode a passenger train, to meet with him. So I arrived early at the Cannon Building where all the congressmen are, and was waiting in his office. I was, obviously very nervous, and it was a very anxious time for me. Well, I finally got in to meet the congressman, which was very exciting in itself, and I talked to him. But I had several other exciting things happen to me along the way. At the end of our conversation, he told me that he wanted me to go outside and wait for a little while. And I wasn't sure what he wanted, whether I was in trouble or what. And so I sat there waiting for a while, and then in came a man, a military man, very decorated man, and he went into the congressman's office. And they shut the door. They shut the door and sit in there and talk for several minutes. Well, when they came out, he said, "Chip, I want you to meet Admiral William J. Flanagan, who's a 2-star admiral in the Atlantic Fleet." And the admiral was extremely nice to me, asked me all kind of questions, took a very personal interest in me, and then dispatched his aide to take me and show me around Washington, D.C. So his aide, which was Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel, also an aviator, took me around a lot of the different offices in Washington, introduced me to a lot of the different people behind the scenes in Congress, then took me over to his personal office and loaded me up with all kind of goodies. Gave me all kind of maps and the little model airplanes and all kind of neat stuff. So getting to meet Congressman McMillan, somebody I admire a lot, was very gratifying. But in addition, I got to meet a lot of really interesting people, and really get an inside tour, I guess, of Washington. I guess it's about as good as a civilian could get. So it's a very exciting day for me.
Great. Thanks for sharing that.
I want to talk about running, and what I want to talk about is how you can benefit from running as a form of exercise, and why running may also be more desirable versus other forms of exercise. The first thing I want to say about it is the obvious health benefits you can derive from running. Studies have shown that running can lower your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and I've read several studies that have proven that it can add to your life expectancy. And I think that's been proven time and time again. It can keep your weight. It can aid you in keeping your weight down. I think that when I was running competitively, I could eat 5,000 calories a day and never gain a pound, and I proved it. And you see what's happened since. So there are definitely some of the most obvious benefits to be derived from running, or the obvious health benefits that you can get. Now, another thing about running is it's a very efficient form of exercise, and it's also very simple. It's efficient in that you can start out, when you're ready to run, you do some stretching, which is desirable to help prevent injury. But you start running, and until the time you stop, you're exercising the whole time. You're not waiting to hit the ball again. You're not waiting to get onto a golf course. It's a total workout the whole time you're doing it. And all that time you're burning calories, you're exercising. So there's no downtime unless you just stop and sit down. It's also very simple in that you don't need clubs, you don't need to buy a membership to the gym. You don't have to buy skis, you don't have to get a place near the slope. You can go out and run virtually anywhere. And that's one of the most desirable things about it. Really, the only expense involved is you want to make sure that you have good fitting shoes that support you, to prevent injury. If you're like me, I'm an overpronator. So, that's really the only expense involved. So it's a very inexpensive sport. The next thing I want to talk about is feeling good, because I think if anybody that's ever ran a lot or ran competitively can tell you about the runner's high. The scientists have shown where the body releases its own form of narcotic that takes into effect at the at the end of a race, at the end of a long run, of a very hard run. And after you're finished, you have this great feeling. It's like a euphoria almost, at least from my perspective. And I think a lot of people agree with that. It's a feeling that's largely unmatched, I think, especially compared to a lot of forms of exercise. I mean, I'm a big fan of basketball and baseball, but the feeling that you get from just doing that is really unparalleled. And another thing about it is that running on trails or through the woods is highly desirable. If you can find a place to do that, you can go out and run and enjoy the environment, enjoy the trail, the wilderness. If you're lucky enough to do that, there are some people that do run through the streets and things. But that's probably running. If you can find a trail, that's probably the most desirable part of it, because it's just, it's better than being in a sweaty gym or looking at the back of a golf cart. I can tell you that. And the last thing I want to say about it is the realism. Running is probably one of the purest forms of athleticism. I mean, you go back to the ancient Greeks or even the Mayan Indians. They have records of competitive running. I mean, it's just purely athletic. It reminds me of my uncle, who used to, when we were at Myrtle Beach, he would go off and play golf and come back and he'd say, "Boy, I'm tired. I played 18 holes of golf out in that hot sun. I've been sweating." I'm like, "Yeah, but you drank half a case of beer while you were out there." I mean, it's just, it's totally real. It's not, there's nothing phony about running. I mean, if you're doing it.
Wait a minute.
You're just out there deriving all the benefits from it. So, in sum, running is a highly desirable form of exercise because of the obvious health benefits from it, but the simplicity as well as the possible aesthetic pleasures you can derive from it, versus some other activities.